Hello, I am Seerat and today I am here to discuss workflow in Google Tag Manager. We will also see things as workspace, publishing, versions. So this is our Google Tag Manager dashboard that is open in front of us. And here we have the options of workspace, versions, and admin. So by default, we are inside our workspace. This is where we make the changes. So if we see here, we have our current workspace, that is the default workspace. We have overview, we have tags. We know that tag is something that Google Tag Manager needs to do. Trigger is something which defines when the tag needs to be fired, and variables give information to Google Tag Manager for like firing the tag at the correct time or sending extra information to Google Analytics and Facebook Pixels. So we know all of this. Here we have like current workspace. So if let's say that two or more users are working simultaneously on Google Tag Manager, like you are collaborating. So in that case, if for the reason that the changes of two persons should not overlap, we have the option to create a separate workspace. So if somebody do something that is like clashing with the previous change, then the person will get an alert. So we will create a new workspace. First of all, let's see that here currently I'm not having any workspace changes. And so now let us go to create a new workspace. We have the option to name the workspace. Let's call it demo workspace. And this option to add the description here. So let's say, now we see that our workspace is changed to demo workspace. Now, let's say that now we want to create some variables. So we go to the variables tab here. We have built-ins and we have the option to create the user defined. But for now, I will not create any user defined. I will just go to configure to add some of the more built-in variables. Let's say I add all the forms and what else? Yeah, that's it. I just added the forms. So let's go back. And we can see here that the list of variable has expanded and we can see a lot more variables here. Now, if we go back to overview, here we will see that now we can see 6 changes. So these are the changes that we recently did. And we also see the workspace changes here. So it kind of like gives us an overview, like form URL text, form target, form ID, and these all are enabled. And so it also specifies the type of the variable, the change, and the time at which the change was done, and most importantly, it specifies the user. So if you are working in an environment with multiple users, then this is very crucial for us, as we can see that who was the person doing the change. We also have the option to abandon the change. If we feel that this change is not something that should be there, then we can abandon it from here. Now we also have this really good option of activity history. So this sort of maps everything that we have been doing. So just like I created a demo workspace, then I enabled several built-in variables. So this kind of gives us an idea that what is actually happening. And we can also see the time that it was done, the user, and all of this information. So this is activity history. Now, we came to the workspace, we did some changes. Now we want to push them live. But as we discussed in the previous video, pushing the changes live before testing them is not such a great idea, because if we have errors, then they will be pushed too. So let us go to preview and check that whether the changes that we have done here, are they reflected or not. So I'll click preview. So this has opened up. This showing me the container ID here, the URL of the website that I want to test. I click connect. It will take a moment and open this window for us. Now, yeah, so it gives us the pop-up that debug information for this page is viewable in the Tag Manager assistant window. Now, if we go here, we see and we click something and we see variables. So now we see that all of the variables that we added here are visible here. So we know that whatever we are doing in the Google Tag Manager is working. So variables are being tracked, but currently as we do not have any form with us on this website, their value is undefined. But the important thing here is that they are visible here. We can see them. We created them, and in the preview mode, we are able to see them. Yeah, so the value of the variable is undefined here, and I have tested this. Now I know that whatever change I did is working. So I'm satisfied, and now I want to go back and I want to publish it. So how am I going to do that? I'll click submit. We see here that we have 6 changes and we are gonna submit these 6 changes. So let's click submit. Here we have 2 options. First is publish and create, and second is create version. So create version is more of like a draft option, like it will save our changes in the form of a draft. Our changes are by default also saved, but this is more like a checkpoint that we want to create that, okay, till now, these are the changes that I have done and this is the description for them. But we mostly use the publish and create version option. And let's name the version as adding new variables. And if we want to write the version description. So generally we use this tool because let's say that after 6 months we come back and look at this version. So this version name will give us a clear idea that what actually was changed in this particular version. And if it is a very complex change, then we can also give a version description relevant to it, like adding form built-in variables. So this just helps us for the further process. Like if we come back and visit it, this will be really helpful for us. Now we have the option to publish it to the live environment. We can also publish it to a staging server of or QA server if we have one, but here we can keep this live. And we have workspace changes. So once again, this is showing us all the changes that we are doing and all the changes that we are publishing live. It's also showing all the time that is being spent, the time that they were created 4 minutes ago. Then it is showing us the user and all the things. We also again have the activity history here, which shows us all the activity that we are publishing. And we click publish. So this opens up in front of us. It shows that this is the version 4. And what are we doing? We are adding the variables. And we have the description. Here we have like it is also showing us 2 tags, 4 triggers, 12 variables. And if we go down, we see that these are the tags that are available on our website. These are the triggers and these are the name of the variables that are available. So all in all, it shows us the summary of the version that is being created by us. Yeah, we have the option to preview it again, publish, rename, etc. If we cross this, then by default, we are on the versions tab. Like this was workspace. And from here, we can come to version. Now, the most interesting thing to see here is that we are again in our default workspace. So instead of the demo one, we are in the default one because the workspaces are not permanent. As soon they are just like a temporary copy of the main workspace that is created for making some changes if 2 persons are working together. So here we have the option to update our default workspace because we have published the changes. So The another workspace is gone and we have the option to update the workspace. So we can just update it from here. So yeah, it's done now. We are back to our default workspace. If a single person is working on something, then there is no need to create a different workspace. This is just for preventing two people from stepping on to each other's changes. Now we go to versions. We will see that we get a list of all the versions that are there for the website. So let's say that if we made a mistake on this version, then we'll go to the previous version and publish that instead. So this can be undone pretty quickly. And we also have another options to preview, share, preview, publish, rename, set as the latest version, delete, export, or edit note. So this right here gives us the summary of the current version, that 2 tags and 4 triggers. So yeah, this is what it shows. So this is our workspace, and the workflow in Google Tag Manager works like that. We enter the workspace, we make the changes, we test them using the preview mode, we debug them if there is any error, and then we publish them so that they are live and they can be viewed by everybody. Since we have published our changes, now we can see that there is no changes here and no changes here as well. So it is showing empty. Yes, this is what a workflow is in Google Tag Manager. Thank you.